What's up, guys? Earl at Sumo Bully Kennels. Happy Monday. Back at you with another one. Whew. In sumo fashion, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for all the subscribers and people who like and comment. Very, very much appreciated. If you're new to our channel, welcome. Have a seat and enjoy the episode. Before we get going in gentleman fashion, I always ask that let's have a handshake agreement, right? Let's shake on it, kind of like when you get to the counter and you get that like piece of bubble gum and you donate 25 cents for that that charity. Same thing here, guys. Same thing applies, right? We're here to provide you quality content, and all we ask is that you subscribe and like. It doesn't cost you a thing. It's free. Best part, it's free 99 to you. So information is useful for all of us, right? We just have to be able to listen and accept that information. Very big on that. I'm a person who gets a lot of help directly or indirectly from other people, and I appreciate those people as well. So for you guys that are new, our page is for education, information, and just a basic overall diary of our journey as a kennel, right? So without further ado, tonight's topic is navigating in our industry, right? So this is kind of a fun episode for me. Just want to share my experience. If you guys have been in this industry, you possibly can relate. If you're new and you haven't already done so, you'll kind of experience some of these things I'm talking about. So without further ado, first and foremost, this is going to be a two-parter because it is a lot. It's a lot to go over and talk about, and it's not direct information. However, I think it's very helpful, and that's why I want to share it, right? So, yeah, navigating in the industry, right? And for us, it's the XL, American XL bullies, right? That's our lane. And so I'm going to just share my experiences. Good and bad and everything else. And again, two-parter. So here we go. Want to share our experiences, right? Okay, where to start? Well, let's start with some pre-qualifications, right? And gosh, it's truly my opinion because it's through the lens of my experiences. So as much as I don't want to be biased, maybe there is some bias in my narrative. However, I'm trying not to be, right? I want to share it from what I've been through and not really putting an opinion on it, but just the truth of things. And that's what we care the most about. So for those who don't know, Sumo Bully Kennels, my wife and I have purchased a lot of puppies and dogs and adults, locally and internationally. So we have an array of experience when it comes to dealing with people, camps, within the intercontinental U.S. and international as well. You know, it's definitely been an experience that I do like to share in case that you are a person who, you know, has aspirations to do something similar and would like to know what it's like. So for our lane, the American XL Bully lane, there are a lot of caveats when it comes to this, right? And I say this because there are several expressions of American XL Bullies, right? And meaning I'm talking breed type. So you have XLs that are heavy in mastiff influence. You have XLs that have a heavy terrier influence. You have XLs that have a heavy bulldog influence. And with that being said, there also are different sizes and heights of XLs, or what they would call leggy or bully. A lot of industry terms. And so ultimately, it comes down to your preference and what you like. Because no matter what anyone says, the phenotype you like, the reality, it's still about dealing with the person holding the dog on the other end of the leash, right? So make no mistake about it. There are a lot of clicks and clicking in this industry. My point is not to speak down on anyone, but rather to kind of share that, and maybe it's a warning or helping you navigate in the industry. For myself, my mantra is to live life on my own terms. However, no man is an island, meaning no one can stand alone and completely be isolated from the entirety of the community. It just doesn't work that way, right? This is very important for all of us here, regardless if you are a beginner, intermediate, or a seasoned breeder, because it does have meaning. It does matter, and so that's kind of like why I'm speaking on the fact, right? So what I'd like to do is go over just some general guidelines, things to take note of, right? Things that I've taken a moment to reflect on, and I did want to share with the community, for you guys viewing who consume our content and like it, and we've helped you in somehow, way, form, or fashion. To be honest, some people will like your dog and some people won't. That's just the truth of it, because I mean, we have a diversity in the XL lane, right? It's neither wrong or right, or good or bad. What I would tell you is that, whatever you're breeding for, or whatever you're a fan of, or whatever you want to have, beauty, it's like, beauty is like art. It's in the eye of the beholder, right? So if in your vision that's what you like and that's what pleases you, then by all means, other people will have an opinion, though. And speaking of opinions, how do I put this in the nicest way possible? This is a very strange time to be alive. It truly is. I'm a 70s baby, born in the 80s, raised in the 80s and 90s, and this is, to me, is a very strange time to be alive, because and never in my lifetime have I been in a space where so many people have an opinion, right? And with social media and with how life moves now with technology and social media, that everyone can have an opinion and a laugh on your expense, right? It's kind of sad too, because if you are a little more seasoned like myself, a little upper in age, we grew up at a time where you spoke truths and you had to speak with people, kind of like meeting a girl. You would meet her somewhere and you would have to speak and communicate and present yourself. Where now you go on a dating app like whatever, Tinder or whatever, and you don't have to deal with a lot of things like you do face to face, right? For example, when I was growing up, I would meet a girl, and if she turned me down, I would have to deal with that, right? Whether it's I'm scared to approach her, whether I'm embarrassed that I got denied, whether I feel bad about myself for, getting turned down. Social media has removed a lot of that fear, because basically you could talk crap, you could say something, you can reach out to somebody, and you're not publicly humiliated for your actions or your opinions, right? And so I'm trying to connect that with how the industry is, because people will troll and laugh and make comments and things like that. However, they will not deal with the repercussion of a face-to-face comment like in the 80s or 90s, right? Where if you said something, you had to stand on it, and there are repercussions to the things you say, right? Back then they said, a hard head makes for a soft ass and things like that, and a smart mouth is either right or it's bleeding, right? Meaning I say what I want till my mouth is bleeding, which means you probably socked me in the face for saying something disrespectful. So for you younger generations, you wouldn't understand that. So kind of giving a history lesson here. So with that said, it is a strange time to be alive because people can talk, laugh freely without embarrassment and repercussions, and even the responsibility and being accountable for the words they say. Because if you remove social media, you would have to say it in a place amongst your peers and amongst those people. And to be honest, most people are cowards. And I'll say it because they will say something behind your back and not be truthful in front of you. And to me, that's cowardly. You know, I'd rather you tell me you don't like my dog for whatever reason in front of my face, which I wouldn't take as, an assault. I would take that as your opinion. Again, like in my last episode, I said you can like the dog and not the person. You can like the person and not the dog. We're all entitled to what we like and don't like. Make no mistake about it. I'm not trying to say that, because I have a dog, you have to like it or whatever. Not at all. It's not that serious is what I'm saying. However, what I am saying is that the platforms of how we communicate now had made it very easy for a lot of cowardly people to have a laugh at your expense or my expense or anyone else's expense at that. It's just a different time to be alive, and so we have to adjust to that. And understanding that, we have to be less sensitive, desensitize ourselves, and understand that these people, are operating in the current space now, which is relevant and relative to our industry, right? So, to be in this lane, you got to have thick skin. People will talk or hate on your dog, right? Or quote unquote hate, whatever. That's just the truth of it. Everyone can act like it's all roses and candy, but if you had spent time in this industry, you would know the truth. And I'm not trying to be all doom and gloom today. What I'd like to do is share the truth of what it is. So if you're just getting into this and you run across this video, this is kind of like a warning and heed, so that you don't fall into those pitfalls, right? And you don't get upset and all those things like that. For me, it's very easy to deal with this kind of situation, and I'll share with you why. For me and you, the mindset is your key. For example, I grew up in a household with very simple rules, right? My grandfather, great-grandfather, both were World War I, World War II veterans. Very simple, guys. He who does not pay the bills has no opinions. That was a rule in our household, right? I'll elaborate more on it right now, okay? Oof. So here we go. Where was I? Okay, here we go. Let me flip the page here. So, like I was saying, for me, it's easy to deal with this, It's the whole mindset. In my household, it was not a democracy. You are either, check this out, right? You're either the hand feeding mouths or you're the mouth eating. If you are the mouth eating, you can't speak because you have food in your mouth, right? Only the hand that feeds has the voice. And I'm hoping I'm not butchering that translation to English, but ultimately that's what it was. It was, it was a different time, and I realize that now, raising a son and having nieces and nephews, it certainly is a different time now. They laugh at me when I tell them I used to walk to school. They're like, let me guess, you used to walk to school for 30 miles every day. We did walk to school, but it wasn't 30 miles. So anyhow, keep it simple. Don't allow yourself to get upset by opinions of others who are not financing your dreams, ultimately. And with that said, it also doesn't mean you shouldn't consult with people, right? No matter where you're at, you can always learn from someone else. I learn from people every day, whether directly or indirectly, whether I'm listening to something, reading a book, or just having a conversation with somebody. I learn things, man, I learn new things every day. And that's the exciting part about this journey in life, period, right? A person who stops learning stops growing. I have people I've known since high school. They're 50 years old now. Mentally, they're still 17. They hold on to the same stories of past glory from like 30 years ago. So every time you get together with them, they're going to talk about that same story. You remember that time that I'm like, oh my God, why are you even talking about this? So you understand that, like, don't get stuck, in that position, right? Evolve is what I'm saying, right? Life is changing. Adaptation and evolution are a big part of progress, guys. Therefore, you must master our current landscape of what it is right now if you're getting in right now. Understand what the landscape is. Get ahead of the curve, recognize trends and change, right? Because life is ever changing. If it wasn't so, American bullies wouldn't be a thing, because we are a composite breed of somebody who thought that combining other breeds would make a cooler looking dog. So in essence, our industry as a whole, with all the different classifications of bullies, is a composite and a vision of somebody who said, man, wouldn't it be cool if these dogs look like this? And here we are now, 5 categories later, 30 years later, and we're enjoying the industry. So, keep that in mind and be able to adapt to those changes, right? And have your own vision, Here's one that I really like. And again, this comes from my grandfather as well, who's one of my heroes, is that, people with vision and leaders are bold people with a strong resolve, right? No one follows lesser men, but lesser men will conform to the opinions of the masses for acceptance, right? They'll laugh at the peanut gallery because they want to fit in and they don't want to be the one being laughed about, is what that means. So be careful, guys. Don't be a victim of that herd mentality. Have your own vision and be true to yourself. Don't be scared. For what? It's people will ridicule you for trying. They will discredit your work, right? They will celebrate your failures. However, they will also ride your coattails in success and when you succeed. So understand that. And take it with a grain of salt, guys. If you have a vision and you have a plan and you're set to go and you understand how long it's going to take you to get there, then write it out, Don't allow these things to affect your energy in what you're doing, your daily moods, right, is what I mean by energy. I'll give you a moment to process that, guys, because it is very important, More important than these dogs and what we do is what's right in between these 2 ears right here. Your mind, your heart, your soul, where you feel with your vision and what you're pursuing, the passion that you pursue it with. The dogs will always be the dogs. And I'll let that settle for a minute. What's more important is you, where your mindset is at, how you feel about what you're doing. And it's easy to get swayed by popular opinion, guys, and let that affect your your mental health, your state of being. And so, I thought this was a very important episode for new breeders, intermediate breeders. Because sometimes we get sucked into trends and groups because we do, most of us do seek some kind of affirmation. The affirmation and the accolades and everything else comes with the hard work and grind and the vision that you do, because make no mistake about it, this is a grind. This is a long game. This is not you buy one dog here, one dog there, you throw a litter and all of a sudden you're the hottest thing hottest thing out there. It doesn't work that way, guys. This is a long game. So if you're in it for the quick buck, get your quick buck, get out. That's what I would say. However, if you're in this because you're really passionate about it, understand that this is something that has a time investment in it and a money investment, right? Oh gosh. Anyhow, I'll give you an example, right? I'm a gentleman, guys, so I'm not going to give no names and not talk bad about nobody, because that's not what we do here. We're here about uplifting and sharing information. I was once told that I should only purchase dogs from this one person, right? And this one person is the one telling me that. This person, or kennel, let's just say. And this person told me that everything else out there, aside from what he has, is garbage. Period, point blank. Mind you, this person did not have his own bloodline, has been breeding for quite some time, right? This person is riding the coattails of another kennel's productions, meaning everything he has is simply borrowed from the hard work that someone else did. However, he's saying everything else out there is garbage except for what he has, which is he's getting from somewhere else. It's not even his own material. Now, had I been a person of weaker resolve, I would have believed him, right? The moral of the story is, man, if I listened to this person, I would have been a victim of herd mentality, seeking acceptance and hoping for an endorsement to be accepted, right? Because this person has been in this industry for a while, has a lot of connections, is more established than myself, right? At that time that we were speaking. And this is a true story, guys. People will try to big brother you in this industry, and the reality is it's a sign of weakness and insecurity. Why? Because if your product and service holds true to its value, you will have a line waiting outside of your store. Just like Starbucks in the morning at 6 a.m. Go to Starbucks in the morning. There's a line. Everyone's waiting for that same coffee. So, don't fall into these pitfalls is why I'm sharing this, right? Have your own opinion. Do your research, formulate your own vision, have your own opinion, so that a person, that maybe you see as, more established, and maybe you have some admiration for the work they've done. Just because someone's more established and you admire what they do, doesn't mean they have your best intention in mind. Be careful, right? Because people have agendas. And if you don't know where you stand, first of all, then you can get roped into something like this, and maybe you wake up 2, 3, 4 years later and realize, like, God, dog, this is not the direction I wanted to go. Because you'll be riding off the coattails of someone else, riding someone else's coattails, right? So basically, you're part of that piggyback train of coattail riding, right? I won't say the other word because you know what it is. you know what people ride. I'm going to call it coattails. So be careful. There's a lot of people out there like that, and I'm just warning you. I've been approached that way more than once. And for me, look, man, that's your opinion, great. But if you're not financing what I'm doing, well then, sorry, not sorry, right? So I'm going to cut this one here because this is a lengthy episode that I do want to cover a lot of key things. And this is more of how, what to look for and how to operate in the industry. And this is, goods and bads and everything else. So, guys, be true to your vision. That's going to be your key to success, right? Learning how to differentiate between genuine people and people who will have an agenda can be difficult, guys. That's why I said establish your vision first before you reach out to people. And not everyone, don't feel like everyone you reach out to is going to open up the doors and roll out the red carpet for you. People want you to succeed as long as you're succeeding with what they have. Okay? However, they don't want you to surpass what they're doing. I'll let that one sit. Take a moment to assess your direction and make moves that align with your end goal. Is super, super important, guys. You know, if it doesn't work out with this person or whoever you're dealing with, move on to the next one. Don't be afraid. No one is the sole owner of this industry. Not one person, not one big camp. I don't care who you are. You got a champion, a grand champion. You produced your ass off. You are not everything in this industry. You don't own this industry. No one does. That's the reality of it, right? Now, in terms of market share and popularity, sure, you know, somebody can win the popularity vote and all this stuff. But, you know, the truth is, no one owns this industry. This is just like we are a composite breed. This is also a composite community of different visions, of great minds, of creativeness, of good people mixed in with hacks and everything else. And so you have to be careful when you navigate, right? I'm going to leave you with this last one. It's not the dog's bite that you should be concerned about. It's the tongue of the person holding the leash. I'll repeat that one. It's not the dog's bite you should be concerned about. It's the tongue of the person holding that leash. And how you allow that to affect your mindset and your emotional state. Don't take it to heart. Operate within your confines. You know, have your tasks set, your goals set. You know, sometimes when you're going this way, the road is closed. You got to take a detour. That's fine. That's part of life. You know, life is going to happen to everyone. I promise you. But know that it's not the end of the world. There's always a way around. And you can always get to your destination and achieve your goal. I believe that. I believe that in life. I've lived that life for myself and my family. So I just wanted to share this one. This is a kind of a fun but special episode to me, because I feel like this is a topic not talked about. However, it's the daily truth of what we deal with in our industry, right? And it's important for you to understand this if you haven't already been ankles deep, waist deep, or chest deep into this game. Please take heed in what I'm saying. And again, I'm going to split this up in two, so it's a little bit lengthy. With that said, guys, Earl at Sumo Bully Kennels, happy Monday. Have a productive week. I'm gonna double down on this topic in a couple days and wrap this one up. But I thought it's very important, guys. Just like all the warnings I gave, equal as important is there's a tremendous amount of amazing people in this industry that will help you, guide you, and just be a resource of wealth and knowledge for you to grow. So, you know, don't let this doom and gloom feel, you know, bring you down, guys. I just, you know, however, we can't always sugarcoat everything, right? So with that said, guys, Earl at Sumo Bully Kennels. If you haven't already done so, tap, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll catch you on the next one.